All right, okay. We're back in the place to be here on the porch sessions with blacks and on, I'm sorry, on the porch with the blacks. I'm the only blacks here right now because everybody else has lives that they're living. Me as well. I'm over here cooking. And for the family, I have a brood of like six or seven. How many of us? I've lost count already. It's crazy. But anyway, how's everybody doing? Kingdom minded. Good evening. Peace and blessings. Gypsy Soul Customs LLC. Good evening. Peace and blessings. So happy to have all two of you watching me right now. Hopefully, we'll bring some more people in here shortly. Today should be a good one. We got a couple topics to talk about today with myself and Uncle Tom and Black Thoughts. Chief among them is Biden's sobriety, his cognitive health. Is he good enough to do the job? Which we all know the answer is no, but we'll explore that a little bit more. Also, there's a Glenn Lowry segment. You know how we love Glenn Lowry around here that we'll talk to and we'll speak to and talk about. If we have time, there's a bonus one I'd like to talk about, which has to do with what I believe is a cultural Marxist elementary school or grammar school, as we would call it in Chicago. But that's neither here or there. The point is that we have a whole bunch or a plethora of topics that we want to talk to you about today. But chief among them is the Tucker Carlson interview, which I think should be a riveting watch for most people. If you haven't seen it yet, I think you'll be in for a pleasant surprise. I think he does well speaking with the president and dictator of Russia, Vladimir Putin, because, like he says, and like anybody who's worth their spit as a journalist says, being pensive isn't wrong. Being able to have a conversation with people who you disagree with isn't wrong. We are media, not myself, but I'm speaking in the third person. We are media, or first person, sorry. We are media. We're supposed to ask. We're journalists. We're supposed to ask the tough questions so we can get to the bottom of whatever is going on. And if we are to make your ideas for you, uh, uh, if we are to make your ideas for you, then we are no longer objective media. Now we're opinion pieces, we're op eds. So if you want to have an op ed, go to CNN or write one in the funny papers. Other than that, it has no place in respectable journalism. Absolutely, this account, he does need chapstick and water. My God. Come on, man. Come on, because Trump, and I mean it. I'm serious. No, 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 really. Yeah, that's all. Those are his go-to phrases at every speech. Every time you hear this bastard speak, that's what he goes to. So let me see. Let's see. I'm not the one with the Tucker Carlson video. Uh, Tucker Carlson video. I believe Black Thoughts was going to bring that up whenever he shows up. But I do have the other video. Let's see. Let me see something there. All right, cool. I'm back. I had to put myself on mute. I had to send a message to these other jigaboo coons who run this show with me because it's on the porch with the blacks, not on the porch with a black or with blacks who defy. Anyway, let's find the video I was searching for. You know, a large part of my day is mainly dedicated to delving deeper into what cultural Marxism is and how it affects our society at large, mainly America, well, specifically America. And then I'm always dealing with, questions as it pertains to the, CCP, also other Marxist touched countries that we can't deal with, or I don't like to deal with because they're pieces of garbage and they affect us detrimentally across the board here in America. And as you can see, a telltale sign of that is what's going on. Badass, what was it? At badass stang. I never not badass. Yeah, yeah. I think I'm doing that right. Uh, a telltale sign of the direction we're going and how deleterious it is our children. Look at these bastards out here, man. Okay, all they're doing is engaging in debauchery, and their parents and the people who come from before them are solely to blame for that garbage, this nonsense. Look at them. No respect for elders, no desire to achieve. Who was talking to me the other day, and they said, if you're half of, I was talking, oh, I coach a baseball team, and I was talking to one of the fathers, and he used to wrestle like I did. I wrestled in high school, and I wrestled in college for a bit. And he said, if you're half a monster that we were or that we had to be when we were coming up, you'll dominate in this society. I think he got that. I think he got this adage or this opinion from the head of USC. I can't remember his name. Dana White. Thank you, Kingdom Minded. I appreciate the cash app. I'll take a look at it in a moment. Yeah, but he got it from Dana White. The idea that we live in such a very weak society that nobody wants to deal with hardship. Nobody knows how to deal with hardship, I should say. And it's a direct result of how we've been raising our children, keeping them in glass houses, not allowing them to grow and fall down and get up and create, make mistakes, become better. Instead, we're left with uh, we're left with children who don't want to be um, don't want to be exploratory. They don't want to go out and do anything. Stay in the house, play a video game, get on TikTok, Roblox, etc. All the mind-numbing television shows. Well, not television shows anymore. All the mind-numbing social media that we have to deal with on a daily basis. Don't know how to react or interact with anybody. I talked to a good friend of mine, and she is a hiring manager for a company, and she was getting these phenomenal, I mean, extraordinary resumes sent to her. She's like, my God, these people are great. And they're only 22, 23. Now, you know what they were using, of course. They were utilizing Chat GBT, AI, Chat GBT to write their resumes. And so then when she would meet them, they'd be introverted, not knowing how to speak, not knowing their job, looking down at their phone the entire time, not making eye contact whatsoever, not speaking to them. They weren't appearing to be people. They were worse than automatons, man, robots. No emotion. Instead, they relied solely on Chat GBT. I'll be right back. All right, my apologies, all. I'm still cooking, being a dad. So the chicken, I had to make sure that it was good. But no, the point that I'm making is that she didn't know they're going or coming. They didn't. They were the complete opposite of what they were on the paper in person. So now, and her daughter revealed to her because she didn't know. He said they're using AI, Mom. Didn't you know? She was like, No, I didn't know. I'm thinking that these people are forthright and forthcoming, upright and forthcoming, but they're not. They're evil, detestable little cheating bastards. Now, I'm not saying uh, you shouldn't utilize the tools that are available to you. But what I am saying is, if you're going to use something like Chat GPT, make sure that you've studied something. You're able to articulate your points. And so now she disregards all resumes from that point forward. And now all she does is schedule interviews because the resume, of course, means nothing. And as it should, because resumes most of the time are embellished anyway. I know I embellish mine from time to time, but see, I'm smarter than that. I'm smarter than the average bear because I don't just write anything on there because it looks good. Schmooze it up a little bit to make it sound a little bit better. But that, you got to be intelligent to do things like that. And the intelligence level of today is nothing in comparison to yesteryear. So, all of us, if you are 35 and up, man, you came in at a pivotal time, brother. We grew up we grew up at the cusp of the internet, and we were able to grow up largely away from the noise of social media and 24-hour bombardment with LEDs from your phone. So yeah, that's that. I know I kind of went on a rant there, but let me see if I think I have that video queued. I thought I did anyway. Perhaps I don't. Let's see. Where are you? Where for our style video? No, that's not it. Hmm. Well, in the interim, we'll do something on Joe Biden while we wait. It'll be on Joe Biden's corruption. So give me a moment. Well, I watched this guy. His name is the name of his channel is Forgotten History, and he always has an interesting take on things that have gone on since yesteryear. And I agree with his takes largely. Give me a moment. Share the screen. Let's find it. I'm hoping we don't find anything crazy. What's the name of this? It is The Most Corrupt. Ah, there it is. What up, Uncle Tom? Just holding it down till all of you guys come back. Where is The Most Corrupt? Hey, am I losing my mind? Gotta find this. I will. Come on, come on. Where are you? Here it is. Here it is. You've been on the stream for 32 minutes. What are you talking about? Here we go. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys can see this. I think you should be able to. And then put a 2 in the chat if you can hear it once I press play. Here we go. The most corrupt, and was part 7. Joe Biden, part 3, Forgotten History. Now this is good because I've already watched this before, but it really gives you a detailed synopsis into the mind and dealings of excuse me, almost cursed, Joe Biden. Here we go.
Today's episode is sponsored by the Patriot Gold Group. Upon coming into office, Joseph Biden completely upended the positive gains made by his predecessor, Donald Trump. Almost as an act of revenge, he decided to use his executive orders to destroy the nation's economy and security to appease the far-left progressives who hated Trump and yet benefited from his successes. How much damage did Biden do with his executive orders? What did he do to undermine our national and economic security? How did he make the United States a weaker nation on the world stage? What was the result of his actions domestically and internationally? Hello, I'm Colin Heaton, military veteran, historian, author, and welcome to this episode of Forgotten History. From day one, President Biden got busy immediately. He revoked the permit for the Keystone XL pipeline and kept the campaign promise to destroy the fossil fuel industry after Trump had made the country not only energy independent, but the world's largest exporter of oil and natural gas, which explained the great economy and low energy prices, food prices, and transportation prices. In fact, Russia could not compete with our volume, quality, and quantity, as well as our selling prices to Europe, which brought the economy down hard for Russia. The Arab Gulf states were also suffering from the price of their crude dropping along with demand, as we did not need their oil. Biden was at least smart enough not to revoke the ban on Iranian oil exports, which under Trump almost had Iran begging for foreign aid as part of a U.S. and UN embargo on the terrorist state. But Biden simply chose not to enforce the ban, allowing Iran to pump and export 3 billion barrels a day, earning up to $100 billion as of this recording. In addition, he gave $10 billion in cash to Iran, and allowing them to export their oil made them wealthy enough to restart their financial support of the primary terrorist groups in the Middle East. The results were obvious on October 7, 2023. Biden bucks also supplied the weapons to include automatic rifles, rockets, and anti-tank missiles purchased from China and Russia, and has seen great increase in attacks upon U.S. troops in Iraq, Syria, and ships at sea fired from Yemen by Houthi terrorists, also sponsored by Iran. In 2020, the U.S. debt was $23 trillion and gold $1,500 an ounce. 2023, $33 trillion and gold is over $2,000 an ounce. There's a direct correlation to the national debt and price of gold. Donald Trump warned, the U.S. dollar no longer being the world standard will be our greatest defeat in 200 years.
Dollar all over. But you take a look at what's happening to it now with other countries not using it.
Call the proud American.
Okay, we'll stop it there. So let's talk about some of the things that they mentioned. They talked about the prices of crude oil. They talked about how we were dominating oil production. And just recently, Joe Biden put a moratorium on liquid gas production. Liquid gas, mainly natural gas, but then that includes crude oil and what we drill there. So the issue, and a lot of that comes from Texas. So the issue is he's putting embargoes on exports that make America money, all for, quote, climate change. And then you have these idiots, these followers who get out here and say, oh, well, Trump was riding the coattails of Obama's economy. Everybody knows that for the first 2 years, the president rides the coattails of the previous of their predecessor, but this isn't true, and it speaks as much to the contrary because of the policies that Donald Trump put into effect. And they always talk in a deleterious manner, in a derogatory manner, uh, as it pertains to his tax stance. His stance on taxes, talking about some lower it for the rich, and then increase it for the poor. But that's not what happened at all. When he lowered capital gains taxes and he lowered the overall tax that people over a certain tax bracket pay, it helped to stimulate the economy, and in that rising tide lifts all ships. We didn't see a decrease in we didn't see an increase in the cost of goods. We didn't see an increase in fuel prices because we were still producing fuel of all kinds, and there weren't any moratoriums on the exploration for gas resources. A lot of that plays a factor in to the prices of goods and the prices of fuel, and also our other utilities that we use. Because if it costs them more money to find places to drill and produce energy, then they're going to push that cost on the consumer. And Trump was really good at taking that off of the consumer, taking that burden from the consumer by taking it off of the backs of the producer. But here's Joe fucking Biden in all his glory, taking all of those pressures, and creating inflationary pressures and putting them on the backs of you, me, and the dog. That's Joe Biden. But we haven't even begun to peel this damn onion. Here we go.
Americans of the Patriot Gold Group today before it's too late. Mention forgotten history, and you'll always get best-in-class service from Patriots protecting Patriots. Flipped again. He allowed transgender previously opposed same-old IRA dealer 7 years, 7-0 today.
All right, here we go.
Biden, who for years previously opposed same-sex marriage and gays in the military, flipped again. He allowed transgender people to once again serve in the military, which reduces combat readiness and increases the cost of the overall military budget, given the elevated healthcare requirements for many, forcing the taxpayers to pay for transitioning surgeries and aftercare, which also debilitates military readiness. One of Trump's great accomplishments was securing additional healthcare access for veterans by outsourcing care to private facilities with the guarantee of federal compensation. This program greatly benefited veterans who had suffered for decades with long waits for treatments and evaluation, especially by getting them into specialists within a matter of days in some cases instead of months or even years. My own son, Max, a Marine Afghanistan veteran, was a beneficiary of this outstanding program that even many Democrats supported. But Biden killed it when he decided that sending VA healthcare workers to handle the millions of illegal immigrants he allowed in, violating his oath of office and federal immigration law.
Now, that's another one that really grinded my gears. I'm a veteran, okay? And it is ridiculously hard and difficult to see a doctor in a timely fashion at a VA facility. And when you do see them, they give you piss poor care. Whereas Donald Trump streamlined it with a snap of his fingers that allowed you and people like me to go see outsource outsource resources and go see hospitals and providers that could help you quickly and were experts in their field. And then here comes Joe Biden cutting it. And he had no reason to do so. But here comes illegal aliens up in arms and getting resources from a country that they had no part in creating policy-wise or otherwise. And they think that they can jump borders and get free stuff. And to add insult to injury, they were being seen by the VA. So resources that were earmarked for the 1% of the population of America, legal citizens who fought, sometimes died, and or were maimed and physically irreparably damaged by war and other skirmishes, can't get the care. Insanity, man. Insanity. Yet that is the president that runs this country.
And national security was more important. Biden initially reneged on his promise to raise the Trump-era cap of 15,000 refugees per year before political pushback forced him to reconsider his stance. Instead, he just opened the southern border again, violating his oath of office and federal law. He also reversed Trump and rejoined the fraudulent, criminal, and totally unreliable World Health Organization and Paris Climate Accord. But there have been serious concerns. One former staffer reported that since at least 2020, during the presidential Democratic primaries, he was being forced to take dementia medications before each public appearance by his wife to render him coherent. This eyewitness said that before taking the pills, he was like a small child and unable to speak and was basically unable to function. This seems to be an explanation for his erratic and incoherent behavior. Biden also agreed to re-enter the Iran nuclear deal, which was a farce the day it was agreed upon by the Obama administration. And Biden, over the course of time, released billions of more dollars to Iran, which in turn funded more terrorism, which we are seeing today in Israel, Iraq, Syria, and Yemen. In one of the greatest intellectual failures in American history, Biden decided.
Okay, guys, I made a pivotal error. I'm going to have to end this stream and go over to the other stream. So let me end this stream, go over to that stream, and we'll start this thing over.